Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen. We're here today with ANUBIS. It's been requested in the past to do an updated ANUBIS build, so let's get right into it. But first, for the newer players to Smite and or to ANUBIS, I want to go a little bit more in depth and talk about his kit first real quickly, just to demonstrate why would you build a certain way for ANUBIS and why it's the best. That pretty much boils down for building in general for gods. You build around the way the god works, his kit, and you also build around the map you're playing, and also situational building. You know, the enemy team comp, your team comp, what's the best. So those are all factors for building in general. But real quickly, talk about ANUBIS. His passive, what we're pretty much looking at here, is he has increased scaling on magical lifesteal items. So building lifesteal on ANUBIS grants you more lifesteal, and also not only that, but ANUBIS, as you should know, he has zero escape potential. He has no escapes. Of course, you can, add in actives if you want, but besides that, he has no way to get out of team fights. So if you get ganked by just multiple, gods in general, you're pretty much relying off killing them first, and is pretty much sustaining yourself off magical lifesteal. So it's very important to note that. Also, if you notice, his abilities, the cooldown just gets reduced as you level them up. So to help accelerate that and to benefit more from low cooldown abilities, you can build like one cooldown reduction like Cronus Pin or Breastplate of Valor, just to help augment that, so you have your abilities up more often, giving you more utility use and things like that. So you can do that option as well. But let's go into the build itself. If you're going into Conquest, let's say solo lane, middle lane, something like that, you definitely want to go into a starter item, just in general, for all roles and Conquest. And the best bet will be to go into Vampiric Shroud. Sorry. Vampiric Shroud is a really great item, gives you 100 HP right off the bat, and we're just really looking for the passive, giving you the HP and mana regen after you kill an enemy minion. So really good sustain with that. Then you want to go with the tier 1 item, Lost Artifact. That's more typical for majority of the mages, but ANUBIS, with the lifesteal things, we probably want to go into a different tier 1 item. We probably want to go into the Tiny Trinket tier 1 item. It gives you lifesteal right off the bat, and you have magical power, and you have really good trees, tier 3 items that you can build into, like Bancroft's Talon, a huge power spike passive, works really great with ANUBIS. You can pick that up. Or you can go with Pythagoras Piece if you have probably like a magical jungler like Alquang or Freya, and the aura effect will apply to them as well, and it also applies to you, so you can benefit from that. And also the cooldown reduction is also nice. So you have a couple options there to build that Tiny Trinket up. But for the meantime, you stick with your tier 1 item, and then you can go into your boots. Now, the most recent patch, the Ravon patch, the Shoes of Magi has been tweaked around a little bit, as you can call it. Instead of 65 magic power, we're down to 40 magical power, but instead we get 10 magical penetration. Now, penetration is really important to have in Smite in general, so you can go into these boots. After you finish your boots, hopefully you don't get a warning sign like I just did. You go into boots, go back, finish your tier 1 item into Bancroft's Talon or Pythagoras Piece, and then you can go into the rest of your build. Stacking items haven't been too common nowadays. But if you want to go to stack an item after you finish these few items, you can go to Warlock Sash. That'll help you be more sustained, or you can go to stack an item called Book of Thoth. If you don't want to go into stack an item at all, you can go into Cronus Pendant for the cooldown reduction, the MP5 to help you, sustain that cooldown reduction. And then after that, you definitely want to go into a penetration item. You can switch your penetration item. You can get early pen, like switch it around with Cronus Pendant, but cooldown items, you probably want to get them earlier to get more use out of it. So after you pick up Cronus Pendant or your lifesteal item, an actual lifesteal item, or if you can go to stack an item, Spear of Magus would definitely be the best bet for penetration. Basically, with the passive, it relies on a damage over time effect to apply the passive, since it's 2 stacks. As you should know, that all of the ANUBIS abilities are all just damage over time effects, so it's really easy to apply on-hit effects like Spear of Magus and also Gem of Isolation. And then you can go into Rod Jehudi as your 6th item slot. Or you can sell that and then you can buy Rod Jehudi. It doesn't really matter. You can buy Rod Jehudi early, like mid to late game, you can buy it. Since games don't really last too long as they used to, so you can buy it a little bit earlier. Like instead of Cronus Pin, you can go into like Pin item and then Rod Jehudi, or whatever the case may be. And then selling your start item, you can sell it mid to late game, whenever you feel like you don't need it anymore and you just want the extra gold to finish an item, you can build that. Then you can go to like an extra lifesteal item or whatever for the late game stages. These are your pretty much core items. Optional items Breastplate of Valor, like let's say the enemy team has like 4 physicals. They have like 4 ADCs or a mix of assassins and hunters. That would be a pretty nice item to pick up. Gem of Isolation, I talked briefly about this. If you can really slow down your enemy with your 3, just kind of apply that, and then that Gem of Isolation will really slow them down, and it'll allow you to easily hit your 2, your Mummify, or you can just slow them down with any of your abilities. All your abilities, damage over time effects, can easily apply the Gem of Isolation stacks. Now going into like Assault. Assault is pretty... You have a couple options since you're Anubis. You can go into like Bancroft's Talon as your very first item in Assault, if you pick them up there, or you can go to the Cronus Pin. It really doesn't matter. After you pick up, you know, Cronus Pin and or Bancroft's Talon as your first couple items, then you can go to the boots and the rest of your build from there. But just in general, most game modes, just Anubis's build pretty much the same. You have boots, you have penetration, you have definitely lifesteal, 1 and or 2 lifesteal items, and Rod to Hoodie is definitely a core item, and cooldown is kind of optional if you want to pick it up. So those are pretty much your core items to build Anubis. Go into actives. You can go into Combat Blink. I would definitely recommend this if you're having trouble just getting ganked too much and you're just being too much just focused in general, or to counter Odin. Combat Blink is really useful. Now, if you do want to spice it up a little bit, some high level players will do this, is buy Blink of whatever the tier is, you know, maybe Greater Blink, whatever, and it's pretty much just Blink and then Mummify right away. That gets me quite a bit, just the surprise of an Anubis actually blinking into you, getting mummified, and you can start your attack chain from there. But yeah, that's the only thing I would recommend. Also, Greater Purification Beast, can never pass it up. So that pretty much wraps up for the build video. Hope this was helpful for any new Anubis players or new Smite players in general. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.